Mr. Deputy Speaker, I was a young captain in 1997 when I deployed on my very first tour to Bosnia. It was an amazing experience. I was a logistics officer based in Split in Croatia, but I spent most of my time in Gornji Vakuf, in Sipovo, Kupres, Tomislavgrad, and also in Banja Luka, which was then the headquarters of the multinational division that was entrusted to enforce the peace and enforce the Dayton Agreement. And enforcement is a theme that I'm going to return to. For those that know, Bosnia is a beautiful country. I've been there many times, and I refer the members to my interests for my recent visit. It's full of lovely people of all nationalities, all religious divides. These are great people. These are humble people. These are hard-working people. And these are people that deserve the full support of the international community. But of course, the awful war that lasted between 1992 and 1995 did leave an appalling legacy. An estimated 100,000 people were killed, 80% of whom were Bosniaks. In July 1995, Bosnian Serb forces had killed as many as 8,000 Bosniak men and boys in the town of Srebrenica, and I've been there a few times. Ethnic cleansing became part of our language at that time in a way that hadn't been seen before for many, many years. So the legacy is pretty horrible, and it's a legacy that we must remain mindful of today. The Dayton Agreement was signed on the 14th of December 1995. It was signed by the Republic of Yugoslavia, the Republic of Bosnia and Herzegovina, Republic of Croatia, and the signatories and witness were the US, the UK, France, Germany, Russia and the EU. This means that the UK, as a signatory, also has an obligation to uphold that agreement. The commitment has been there since then. My honourable gallant friend deployed in 1992 in the act of peacemaking. His tour was much more kinetic, called Op Grapple. I deployed in 1997. My tour was peace enforcement under the Dayton Agreement. So I served in support of that agreement, and I've got skin in the game. In a report recently delivered to the UN Security Council earlier this month, Christian Schmidt, the UN International Community's High Representative, suggested that Dodik has been persuaded by regional leaders to suspend his plans. And that's really good news. But we cannot and must not take our foot off the gas. Why? Because Dodik's rhetoric is separatist, and he vows to sever the legal and the tax system and the army in the Serb-run half of the country.
With my honourable friend.
Please.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. With reference to the last speaker and your wonderful words, may I point out to the House that if the Republika Srpska was to split from Bosnia, wouldn't it be a bit rich if Srebrenica, which it is in Republika Srpska, then stayed where it is after what has happened there?
My honourable gallant friend speaks very wisely, and I could not disagree with that. And again, I'd urge the Minister to pay heed of those words. Going forward from now, we know there's a problem, but let's not admire the problem too greatly. For me, it's about the solution. So it's clear to me that a calm de-escalation of the crisis must be the current political goal. Standing by the Dayton Agreement as a signatory must happen. And as said earlier, we must provide the High Representative with our unequivocal support. He knows what he's talking about, so let's get behind him. And again, I agree with the suggestion that we should support the current headquarters in Bosnia with NATO troops or even troops in support of the EU. It doesn't really matter, but an enhanced British presence in that headquarters and possibly on the ground is necessary to give us the eyes and the ears that we need. But just to finish off, I'm pretty enthused by progress so far. We're having this debate, and I commend my honourable friend for securing it. Baroness Goldie from the MOD was there yesterday for the Bosnian Armed Forces Day. Sir Stuart Peach has been announced recently as the Western Balkan Special Envoy. So let's recognise the good work that's been done so far. Let's recognise the senior engagement that's happening. And let's also recognise the fact that there needs to be a much broader unity of purpose within NATO and the UN, so that all signatories can come together and do what's necessary. But I'll leave with 3 points. First of all, I mentioned the military presence. It's really important to get military planners on the ground. My second point is that I believe a new Balkans policy is needed, perhaps even to amend the structures of the current Dayton Agreement, and perhaps even migrate to something called Dayton 2, which encompasses the changes and the cultural developments, but the divides that are still there in that fantastic country. And my last point is a simple one. I deployed in '97 to do peace enforcement. I think we now need to do political enforcement. Thank you.